Hello, Raul. I
Yes.
spoke with you last week about closing the case. You said you would call me on Friday and leave a message. I told you I was going to be out of town and you would look into it or whatever.
Oh,
And so I don't
that's
know.
true. That's true. If I'm not wrong, Mr. Quintero, that's that okay?
Yeah, I go by David Quintero, sir.
Yes. How you doing, Mr. Quintero?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just trying to get this resolved. So I can move on with filing. To get the case dismissed. So yeah, I just
Right.
you know.
So, sorry, I wasn't able to call you back, and we have some phone issues going on Friday evening. But I did find out the information. Monday, we were not here because of the holiday, Columbus Day, and then yesterday we all day have phone issues, all day in line issues.
Oh, you mean
So
Indigenous Peoples Day? Okay, I was wondering. Okay, right.
yes, yes. Thank you for the correction. Yes. So basically, what I found out is um, that order that you cited, the remember that the um, statute that you told me. Okay, that statute applies only when the case is under 500. But your case is not under $500. I mean, there's still owe a significant amount. However, I see there was you were in court when that happened, and you know you were aware of the situation, which you are responsible for the child support order. However, nothing has changed, still in place as like we speak last time. So I just verified that information, and there is correct. So there is an order issued to you to pay the child support, in which you are responsible to that one. So I'm not sure what actions would you like to take after that.
Okay. Sir, are you sure that you read the Code of Federal Regulations, the law? Are you sure that you read that? Because actually, it says or unenforceable, and I think you're only focusing on the first part where it says under section A1 or B1. I'm sorry, where it says there is no
Right,
longer a current support order and arrearages are under 500 or
right. But your
unenf-
case
sir.
it meets all the expectations because your case it is enforceable, and you don't meet the uh, um the rest of the conditions.
Okay, well, sir, you know what? Then I guess then because the law is clear. It says or unenforceable, but you're choosing not to focus on that part, which is your choice. But the law is clear, and I'm not asking you to do me a favor. I'm not asking you to do me a solid. I'm not asking you to hook me up. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm just demanding that the law be followed, and you know
Right.
how that
I
works.
mean, so far,
So,
I completely understand you, and so far, what we're doing is just the only thing that we're doing is just follow the order the judge assigned to you. So basically, we um, honoring that order, and we follow the orders of the judge. And you order it is a legitimate order, and it is enforceable under the conditions of the law. So the law that you cited to me applies only, like you say, or if it's not enforceable, but in your case it is enforceable, or applies if the case owes under $500, but your case owes more than that. So you case meet all the criteria to be enforced and to meet the conditions to continue with the child support.
so can I ask if you claim it is unenforceable, that is not fact. But if you claim that it is in fact enforceable, is what you're saying. Do you claim that it is enforceable? Is that what you're claiming?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, then you have all the information there, right? Like all the information, name, address, phone number, the court case number, social security. You have all that information there. So, what exactly are you planning to do to get any kind of money next week, next month, next year, ever at all? Please tell me how it is enforceable if you have either no plan or could you just tell me your plan? Or maybe is that kind of like a thing where oh no, we're not going to tell you how we're going to plan to take your money. You have all that information there. So I want to know if it's enforceable, then that means you have some kind of method in which you're going to take in which you're going to steal money. So how is it that, you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm asking? Because you have all the information there, but even with all the information there, the agency isn't getting anything. You know, nothing since September 8th or something, the beginning of September, and I called to tell you that there's going to be no more of that. And actually, the paperwork is almost done to file to get that money that was taken from unemployment to get that back. The law is very clear, and I have that paperwork ready to file that I'm going to file and put on the record to show that, fraud was committed. So, could you tell me, are you able to tell me what exactly it is that the agency plans on doing on trying to get a penny from this moment forward, or from last month forward, or at any point in time ever at all? Do you understand what I'm asking? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. We were talking, and I think the phone got disconnected. What I heard from you was what was our plan, or what is our plan to enforce your case. So basically, what our collection tools or remedies that we use to enforce cases under, obviously, the statutes of the law, under the state law, all the things that regulate the way that we collect and that we enforce the court orders, allow us to pretty much garnish your check if you're working, pretty much intercept your taxes. So when you do taxes, if you have any tax return coming in, we're going to intercept those taxes. If you win any lottery, or if you inherited any inheritance or something, definitely we're going to intercept that as well. We can also put a lien on properties or vehicles, and and help to collect the money that is owed.
Okay, so but if you claim that they have that authority, that takes a presiding judge's order to issue something like that, and that takes the involvement of the attorney general, and we both know that the attorney general is withdrawn. So I understand that those are things that, under your policies and all that you're allowed to do if you're able to do. But given that the attorney general is withdrawn and it rests solely on the agency to try and do all of that, that information is nothing new, except you guys, you know what I mean, except the agency has, so in other words, I guess what I am interpreting that, and you could tell me if I'm wrong or not, is that the agency is going to sit around and wait for something to pop up on that social security number, and until then they're going to, just sit around, wasting taxpayer dollars, keeping the case open, monthly maintenance and whatever, until something pops up with the social security number.
That's, in a nutshell, yes. Okay. That's pretty much it. What you see as the Attorney General withdraw is just they withdraw the case after the proceedings in the court. So when the final decision in the court is done and over, they withdraw from your case because there's no need longer to be on that case. So they already have an order. So our part is part of the state to enforce that order at that point. And so that's why they withdraw the case. But that necessarily means they have to be on the case 24/7. If we need to request the assistance from the Attorney General to enforce the case, because we can take the case for contempt, meaning we have not received payments, and at that point, since we have not received payments and we need to pay, then we take the case for contempt. So basically, we take it back to the Attorney General. The Attorney General submit that to the court, and you will be facing a court hearing, and then at that point, you will explain to the judge, why you're not paying. And will the judge at that point determine whatever decision of the judge is going to make?
Yeah, and so the thing
But
is,
that's one of the remedies.
yeah, no, I know that happens because they already tried to do that, and it was
Right.
unenforceable. See, because there's a document that says enforcement on it, but yet they had no outcome in their favor, so therefore they were not able to enforce it. So the only one stalling here is the agency here. I think that it's just something that the agency is going to do because obviously if the law was being followed, there wouldn't be no unconscionable contract fraud and all of this to begin with. But the thing is, the reason why guys are getting their lives ruined is because they don't know about all of this. And so I read you the law, and I know that you ignored the first part about no current support order and arrearages under 500. I never said that was the case. I was just reading the complete law. I wasn't trying to tiptoe around anything. I'm not doing that.
It's not right. It's not that I didn't ignore. I read everything. I take everything in consideration. I even consult my supervisor. And I mean, based on the information in your case, based on the court order that we have, based on the active in your case, on the latest hearing that you have and everything, at this point, everything indicates this is a normal case that we have, like many. So pretty much this is a standard case in which is set for enforcement of child support. Maybe your perception or your understanding of the law, it could be misinterpreted, but this is the way that is to interpret the law, and this is the way the judge sent the order to us. So the only thing we do is just follow orders because someone opened the case with us and they want the case to be enforced. So if either or Kimberly or you open the case with us, someone wants this case, someone wants to make sure that you pay child support, and that's the only thing that we do. I mean, if we close this case, it will be sent to the courthouse, and it will be open there as a non-4D child support. So basically, it's going to be a child support at the court. Definitely, they're not going to enforce the case. It's going to be sitting there. If you want to pay, fine. If you don't want to pay, okay, fine either. It's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. However, since someone opened this case with the state of Arizona because they want the court order to be enforced, so they want to push for you to make the payment and do any actions that we are allowed to do under the court of law for you to pay. So that's why we have those tools, which is, garnishing checks, intercepting taxes, or intercepting any other type of remedy that you might have, some way, shape, or form. So that's pretty much what we do. If you choose not to pay, the other option is for us is to take the case to contempt, in which we open the case back to the Attorney General. The Attorney General jump on, and they take you to court in front of the judge for a hearing, and you explain to the judge at that point why you decide not to pay or why you're not paying. That is, your battle with the judge at that point is nothing that we done in between. We just follow the orders of the judge. If you choose not to pay, the only harm that you're going to create to yourself is that you're going to increase the arrear balance in your case. You're going to increase the interest is going to be generated. Every year is a 10% charge of interest based on the total amount owed on the case. And that pretty much is going to chase you and is going to follow you all the way into your retire. And even after you retire, we can still intercept the Social Security. So you have options, which is facing the consequences of not taking actions, or take action and pay child support. It's your decision. I mean, I understand your frustration. I understand maybe you don't want to. I totally get it. I do pay child support too. Don't take me wrong. I work here, but I do pay child support too.
That
was my action before, and I follow the consequences.
I'm not frustrated because I'm not yelling, I'm not cussing, I'm not doing anything like that. This is we're having a conversation. And
Correct.
and this has nothing to do with not paying because I have very good credit and I pay my bills or anything like that. But I have contracts with these companies and I have no contract with this agency, and you can't force me to pay for a contract for services I didn't request, which is why I shut down the Attorney General and they withdrew. I welcome you to go ahead and try another contempt proceeding. Go ahead and get the AG involved again. I welcome that because not only will I beat them and shut them down again, but I'll do it quicker than I did last time. Last time it took a few hearings to do it. This time it'll happen quicker. And not only that, but um, you know, there's due process violations. There's a lot of stuff that has happened here that they're not allowed to do. Everything happens with consent. I never gave any consent, and I have no contract with the agency. You, sir, I don't know you personally. I also have no contract with you. Now, you're a public servant, sir, and you are only protected under the scope of when you're acting following the laws and rules and procedures. There was a judge that created this mess, and he did not act as he was supposed to and follow the rules, laws, and procedures, and now there's a lawsuit against him. Feel free to look up David Quintero versus Jeffrey Furlan that went into small claims. The judge sided with the Attorney General because that's what they do. They're all friends and they all represent each other. But then it was sent into appeal, and now the entire bench of this county has recused. So, and that's just one lawsuit that has started so far. And so if you close the case, which is what you're required to do by law right here, case closure criteria, and the case meets the criteria, then that means you did your job, you followed the law, and I can't go and file a lawsuit against you because you followed the law. And then once that gets sent to the court, the case is still open, but I have to then ask the court to dismiss the case. So now, if the court keeps the case open, now they are acting outside of their scope of their jurisdiction, and I could then file a lawsuit against them. And this is just what I'm going to keep doing over and over and over again. So because you don't lose anything. You personally, you don't lose anything if you follow the law, which is close the case and just send it into the court, right? Because it's unenforceable. If you want to try again, I welcome that. Go ahead and try to enforce it again. You have all the information. I'm not running. I'm not ducking anything, sir.
And thank you for the advice, but you have to understand too that I do have a supervisor to report to, and based on
could I talk to him?
My
maybe?
abilities and my knowledge, I know that I can because I already consulted with my supervisor, and I can't close the case. I won't be able. The system won't let me. So it's nothing I can do personally to close the case. I won't be able to do that. I mean, there's many steps that we have to go through to close the case.
Okay.
And I can't. It's not in my scope. It's not in my capabilities to close the case.
Who can then? Because the agency can only close the case. I studied the law for over the last 4.5 years, and I know this case backwards and forwards.
He seems very knowledgeable.
So that's why, come on, I went against the Attorney General. Okay, and 4 of their assistants, and they got nothing, and they withdrew from the case, and the agency is collecting absolutely zero. Okay, like I said, I'm not running, I'm not ducking. You have all the information right there, but yet you guys are the agency is getting zero. So therefore, I know what I'm doing. I know what the law says, except nobody likes that I know this. The judges, they don't like this. The prosecutor doesn't like this. The Attorney General, but at least they knew when to be like, okay, well, there's nothing we can do. That's what the Attorney General said, and I have it on the record. I have it on the record where they're like, well, this is her case. There's nothing we can do. I have that on the record. So this doesn't happen often, and I get that people don't like that. I get that the agency doesn't like that. The court doesn't like that. They don't like that I'm doing this. They don't like that their judge got sued. They don't like that I've already filed notice of intent to file claims against the clerk of the court, other clerks, law administrative assistant. They don't like it when people defend their rights. They don't like it. So, but the thing is, I am defending my rights. I'm not the bad guy here because I never asked for your services. I don't need you guys involved in my life. You guys have nothing to do with anything going on in my life, and you personally, I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. So I have no hatred or anything towards you. You're just doing your job. However, if you actually follow the law, which is consistent with where the whole agency gets its laws and procedures from, this case needs to be closed. You have already told me that you don't have the power to close the case, then that means I need to go above you. See, because now that you've admitted that you don't have the power to close the case, then that means you're not liable anymore. That means I can't file a lawsuit against you because you don't have the power to close the case. So I need to speak to whom can. Like, do you want a lawsuit come into your home? Because I know the addresses of the judge, and that judge was served, and there is a lawsuit right now. So I can find out whatever I need to find out. And these aren't threats or anything like that. This is just me telling you, like, hey, man, like, just follow the law. That's all. And if you don't follow the law, then I have to seek my lawful remedies. And anybody could sue anybody. Like I said, these are no threats at all. This is just me stating, like, hey, you need to follow the law. If you don't follow the law, then I have no choice but to seek relief. And that is where this lawsuit herein stands with this judge that has already been filed. So since you already told me you don't have the power to close the case, and you have a supervisor to report to, does he have the power to close the case? Because now the liability is no longer yours. The liability is his. So I need to speak to him. If it's a him or a woman, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound sexist. I apologize for that. But if it's a man or it's a woman, then if they have the power to close the case, then I need to speak to them because that person is causing me harm. They are causing me harm by not following the law. And that person becomes liable. They get the lawsuit because the law is very clear. This matter is unenforceable.
Yeah,
it needs to be closed.
The only thing that child support does is basically follow a court order. So in order to take any other proceeding away from the scope of the court order indicates, we need another court order. So if you go to the court and you talk to the judge or you open a hearing about the situation and you get a court order that says that we should close the case and do not enforce this case, I'll be more than happy to close your case if that's the situation. But unfortunately, we don't have that at this moment. So the only thing I can do is just proceed with the only court order that we have, which is entitled to enforce your case.
Is there or is there not a supervisor that that is above you that has the power to close the case? Because I need to file a lawsuit against somebody. You know, right. I'm sure you would prefer it not be you.
Sorry to interrupt you. It's not any supervisor that has capabilities to overrule a court order. So we cannot do anything, regardless the level of supervisors that we have. You can go all the way up to the governor if you want, and nobody has the capability or the power to overrule a court order besides just a judge.
Well, okay, but earlier you said there is a child support order. Now, that is still going to remain open. The only difference is that the agency would close their part in it. So that's what you said earlier, and now you're saying different, sir. Could you be more clear on that? Because I'm not asking you to close the child support case. No. I am telling you that the law says you need to close your case, the agency's case. Meanwhile, the order still remains open. Do you understand? It's just the agency's involvement is over because it is unenforceable. Now, once the agency closes the case, the agency's case, that still remains open with the court. So that's not correct information, sir, because it will still be open. And then that is for me to deal with the court. You understand? This is a two-step process.
Right.
Well, this
So
is many
who?
steps, and this is the second to last step that needs to happen. However, you guys do have the power to close the case because the court cannot close the case. You guys can
Technically
close.
speaking, you are correct. Technically speaking, you're correct. So,
That's right.
however, let
I
me ask
am
you this
correct.
question: Did you open this? Did you request to open this case with the state of Arizona?
I did not request services, and obviously the attorney general backed out because there was no contract. They had no contract and no jurisdiction. So no, sir, I did not request services. So
So, in order for me to take any other action to, like you say, just close the case with the state of Arizona and move the case back to the court, uh, the only thing that we can do is just have a letter for the custodial parent, in this case, from requesting us to close the case. Otherwise, we cannot close the case just like this because you ask him.
however, you are supposed to follow the law, not Cadley. That's the difference. So again, sir, you are wrong. You're supposed to follow the law and close the case. What would actually happen is you guys would send a letter to Miss Hadley telling her we can't enforce this. We are withdrawing from this matter. Do you agree or do you not agree? And then and then she could then say no, I don't agree. And then we go through this whole process again. And I don't know if it's going to take 2 or 3 times. Supposedly in law, it takes 3 times to go through the procedure before it's just like, well, there's nothing we could do. Except the thing is, you're still spending tax dollars. It's not your money; it's tax dollars, right? Which is why, I beat 4 prosecutors with the Attorney General's office. You know how much money the court has spent on me? You know how much money the Attorney General has spent on me, and they've gotten zero? I mean, think about it. 4 prosecutors, sir. 3 judges, and then plus a lawsuit I've filed now, and I haven't paid a penny for anything. Not a penny to the courts, not a penny that the Attorney General has gotten. Nothing. Nobody has gotten anything because it is all a scam. They don't have consent. I did not contract with any of them. Okay? So we're going to keep going in circles here. So that is actually how the case gets closed, right? So either you guys could do it on your own, you could send notice that you're closing the case to Miss, and then she could, contest that and say no because you got to give her 30 days to respond to that. She has to respond saying, yeah, I do want to keep this case open. But then at that point in time, what are you guys going to do? Because you have all the information. Like I said, I'm not running or ducking or anything like that. It's just unenforceable. It's just unenforceable. I'm right here. I'm the one calling you guys. You don't get people calling you guys unless they're upset or they consent to paying, for a debt that isn't theirs. I don't know why people would do that. This is not my debt. This has nothing to do with me. Okay? I have no contract with the agency. I have no contract with the Attorney General. None of that. So this is in fact how the case gets closed. You either just close it, you send notice to Hadley that the case is going to get closed and she has 30 days to respond or do something, and then at that point in time, you guys need to figure out what you're going to do. If you want to go through a contempt proceeding again, let's do it. I'm fine with that, okay? I don't care. I'm going to win again. And then at that point in time, once again, after we spent, I don't know, $50,000 to $100,000 in these prosecutors and attorney general and the courts and all this, and while I've spent $0 on all of this, and then we're going to be right back where we started, and I'm going to be calling you again to ask you to close the case. Like this is just the first of many reminders. This is the law. Except the only difference now is I'm filing the paperwork to get the money that was stolen from me from unemployment, and then I don't know, maybe I could give you 30 days to reconsider and send notice to Kimberly Hadley to close close the case, or 30 days to send notice to the court that you guys are withdrawing from services, and and I won't have to file a lawsuit because you guys have the ability to close the case. The law says so. and you guys are causing me harm. And so if you don't follow the law, then that means you're not protected by qualified immunity. And therein comes the lawsuit. You know what I mean? And I don't want to go that route because I have to write paperwork, I have to go and file, I have to get people served. Nobody likes getting served at their own house. You know, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But I've done it, and and I don't do anything, to personally insult anybody or anything like that. I just I just want everybody to follow the law. That's all. I follow the law. I do.
Right. And basically, that's what we do, Mr. Quintero. So unfortunately, if you want to go ahead right with that process, you can go right ahead. There's nothing I can do to stop you.
Sure.
You're taking your own decisions. But it's nothing I can do, I'm telling you already, to close the case. Nothing that we can do. We also have policies, so you have to understand that. It's just not just the law. We have policies for child support that we have to follow. And we cannot just do what you say.
Oh, I'm not asking you to do what I say. I'm reading you the law, and the law supersedes policy 100% of the time. Now, is there a supervisor, someone above you that I could speak to that, might be able to consider, like, you know what, I don't want to get sued. You know what I mean? Because then, like I said, then the liability doesn't fall on you. If you say that you spoke to a supervisor and be like, you know what, like, hey, can you go ahead and talk to this guy? If it's all right. I feel like I'm just going in circles with him. I told him we're following our policies and our procedures, but just talk to him for a little bit for me. And the moment you do that, then I tell him all this, and maybe he might be smart enough to be like, you know what, I don't want to get sued, and I think I should follow the law because I'm one man. And there are lots of other men that the agency is ruining their lives with. Lots of men who are being ruined. Their lives are being ruined, with this scam. So I'm just one man. So if you guys lose to one man, who cares? You guys are making so much more money. The agency is making so much money. You guys are going to be just fine if you lose one time. Chalk it up. Michael Jordan lost a few games. It's fine. It's fine. Except what's also happening is I'm helping other men as well. I'm helping other men with their cases, and I'm helping as many men as I possibly can, and I'm doing it for free. How to beat contempt, how to beat these cases, and how to do this. And see, and therein comes a problem for the agency and for the Attorney General if we're teaching people how to beat this. So, is there a supervisor that I can speak to?
No, right now. The supervisor that we have is on vacations, and she will come back, I believe. Let me see. Okay, I believe she will come back between Tuesday 19 or Wednesday 20.
Okay. All right, let me write that down. After
And
the 19th or 20th. Just to be safe, I'll put down after the 20th. Is there a number that I can call or something, or how would I be able to?
I will, if you don't mind me, I will prefer to give her a heads up about your request, and let her call you if it's not okay with you, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. And if I don't answer, then just leave a message or something, and then I could return the call. And then I don't, and I guess if they need to call me from a no caller ID, like this call came in for whatever reason, if they need to record the call or whatever, I don't know that. That's fine. I'm not afraid of that. Because I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not many
So,
people are in this
when I
position.
talk,
So
when I talked last time to my supervisor, she advised me the one thing that we can do to maybe for you to I know you understand the law, looks like from what you just been telling me so far. You have a very, good understanding of the law. Um, but my supervisor advised me that we can probably offer you an admin review. It's something that if we provide an admin review with you, you will be able to probably better understand the way that we process. But I'm sure that you probably don't want this. I know based on what we talk, you're very solid in your decision. You want us to close the case. I completely understand your point of view. Based on the information that I know, based on the knowledge that I have, I'm being confident telling you that I can't close the case. We can't close the case unless we have an order that, it says the opposite of the order that we have currently in place. And then what you tell me right now, yes, I understand you say you don't want the order, to close or anything. You just want the case to be closed with the state of Arizona. That's another thing. We can't close the case at the level that we have it right now because someone opened the case with us in the state of Arizona to enforce the court order that we have. So in order for us to close the case, we will require a letter of a closure letter or a closing letter from that person who opened the case with us. And then at that point, yes, we will transfer everything to the court, to the known for the child support, and that will be it.
Yeah, and you know what you just said right there about needing a letter from them about closing the case. That is actually part of that same 45 CFR 303.11. See, so the thing is, part of that says that, so basically you just said that person can request to close the case. Yeah, that's in that 45 CFR 303.11. But you're only choosing to honor that part, but not the part where it's unenforceable. See, so again, sir, you are wrong because you're choosing to follow certain parts of the law and not the other part. I'm asking you to follow the whole part of the law. You know what I mean? So, although you are correct to state that.
Those are the parts of the law that I've been trained to follow.
Of course,
I'm not an expertise on the laws like you are.
You're absolutely right. The parts of the law that you were trained to follow. You're right. You're right, because who's going to teach you to close a case like this, right? You're absolutely right. I agree with you,
nobody told me that before.
Exactly. You're right. They're not going to tell you that. You're right. You see what I mean, sir? So I appreciate you having this conversation with me. So after the 20th, you want me to call you and be like, hey, I'm waiting to hear from a supervisor. Have them call me, or how do you want to go about that?
Because right now my supervisor is not in the office. It won't be back into 19 or the 20, like I just mentioned to you.
Of course.
So this is a situation in which involves the case study, obviously, to see the history of what's happened, to have a grasp and understanding. I talked already with my supervisor about this, and we reviewed the case, and we come up to the consensus, and she explained to me the reasons why we cannot do what you explained that you want to do with the case. However, let me debrief her of what we're discussing so far. So when she come back, she just not jump on the horse, running just like that.
Sure.
I believe that she will have other things to follow up through. So let me just talk to her, explain to her what we discussed about and what are your intentions, and then I will let her know that you're expecting her call. Her name is Sabrina.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Sabrina.
Sabrina, Sabrina?
Yes, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, B as in...
Does she have an agent number or something like that, or some kind of supervisor ID number or something like that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I can only provide her first name. I'm not even allowed to provide her last name or even my last name.
No, I understand that. That's not necessary. I can find whoever I need to find if I need to file a lawsuit. Believe that. But
sure.
Yeah. But no, that's fine. Yeah. So go ahead, if you can, and
If you don't hear from her, from by the 20 or someone around that time, give me a call, and I'll be more than happy to remind her, hey, this person is waiting for you to call. Already called me again and expecting your call.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Because I'm gonna call. Because like I said, I'm not running. I'm not hiding or anything. I have nothing to hide from since I'm not the one that caused harm. I'm not the one that is making somebody pay for a debt that they didn't cause. You know what I mean? That's unlawful and it's unconstitutional. So but however, I will by that time have filed already relief for the unemployment that was robbed. So I will by that time have filed that, and yeah, and then I'll just wait on the lawsuit until I speak to Sabrina, and I will also give her 30 days to close the case, or I proceed then with her. So.
Right. I mean, at that you guys communicate.
Sure.
You can have the same conversation that you did with me.
Sure.
You're a very logical person. You're very calm, reserved person who explained everything very well in detail. So I appreciate that too. So this is something that you will have a discussion with her, and you guys will have that understanding.
All right. Thank you. Now, is she in the office that's on Alvernon, or in where? Like, if I need to send some kind of document or something like that, for instance, like even if it's just the law, even if it's just for her to see, I mean, obviously she could read it. I'm sure you read it. I believe that you did. But go ahead and read through it again. Where you said that she.
I even sent her that law that you told. I researched it and I read that and I sent it to her, and we both read it together. Yeah. So we both analyzed that, so she's aware of that too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because I want to, like I said, I'm not about the part where it says no longer a support order and arrearages. I'm about the second part where it says or unenforceable, because it's unenforceable, and you've given me, you've told me in no way, shape, or form how you plan on getting any kind of money at all next week or next month or next year or ever.
The only way that we're going to do this is just search for your Social Security in our systems, and we're going to find out where you're working. So basically, finding out where you're working, we're going to send the request for income withholding order to your employer, and your employer will have to respond to us.
Yeah, I know what it is you guys are going to do. I get that. So, all right. So, yeah, like I said. So,
I do have the law that you told me is the 45 CFR, the little S dash thing, 303.11.
Yeah.
So I discussed that with her. I actually researched it. I sent her the link so she can read that too. So we both read it too. We are informed about that law too. So she probably more than I do.
All right. Okay, then I look forward to speaking with her then.
Definitely, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Mr. Quintero. Have a great day.
You too, sir. All right.